It's all been building to this. A summer of upheaval ushered in the arrival of the next generation of NHL uniforms. Though some changes may be imperceptible to the average hockey fan, others will be hard to miss. And it's all worth a closer look as we embark on a new season. Adidas is out. Fanatics has taken over. One team will make its NHL debut. 2 teams launched rebrands that remind us of the past, and all 32 will be covered in this video. And just for good measure, I'll throw in a few of their minor league affiliates with new jerseys as well. So stick around to get caught up on what's new, what's out, and what's sticking around across the hockey branding spectrum. Right now, as Aesthetics presents Jersey Watch, the 2024 NHL Season Preview. Alright, let's be honest, with November now underway, this can hardly be considered a preview anymore, but lacking any better description, I'm sticking with it. In case hockey hasn't been on your radar this summer, the headline here is the arrival of Fanatics as the new official jersey supplier of the NHL. Adidas is done making the uniforms, but their designs live on. Apart from a handful of teams we'll cover shortly, the majority of the league is essentially carrying over last year's designs. Fanatics is maintaining the same overall template and cut that we know from Adidas jerseys. So unless you're looking for the F flag on the back neckline, it's unlikely most fans will even notice the change at all. However, one change that will be easier to spot is around the shoulders. The dimpled pattern from the Adidas era is gone. In addition to the new game jerseys, Fanatics has also outfitted every team with new practice jerseys. Gone is the Adidas 3-stripe motif up the sides of the torso. Instead, we get new shoulder and collar adornments, and a crest that reads "Property of." Even more changes have arrived on the retail side. Fanatics has had an NHL merchandise deal since 2017 in the form of the breakaway replica jerseys. The line we used to know as the Adidas Authentic is now called Premium under Fanatics. The materials are essentially the same, and again, apart from the shoulders, there's little else to suggest any difference at all. The most significant addition to the Fanatics retail lineup is the return of Made in Canada game jerseys, which have not been available in stores to fans for over a decade. These jerseys will boast the same fabrics and cut as what the players wear on the ice. They even come out of the same Quebec factory that's been making all on-ice NHL uniforms for half a century. But just understand that these jerseys are not for the faint of heart. The asking price starts at $425 US, and some teams have been selling them as high as $500 or more, even before customization and with a sponsor ad included. That's certainly well outside the budget of any average fan. Think of this instead as a collector's item. Most fans will find the premium or breakaway jerseys much more palatable and of sufficient quality to rep their team. And if you still consider those to be too pricey, the lowest tier jersey on offer from Fanatics is the new practice sweater. And while the new player-issued version includes a fully embroidered crest, the retail version is an iron-on. Alright, that's the overview of what's new on the manufacturing side of things. For the rest of this video, we'll go team by team to cover all that's new for the new season. If you want to jump to a specific club, you can use the time codes you see on screen now or the chapter markers in the video description. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy. Beyond the jerseys, we'll talk all things brand-related, including outdoor events, minor league redesigns, intriguing new center ice artwork, and unfortunately, uniform ads, which are indeed becoming more prevalent with every passing season. With all that said, let's begin in alphabetical order.
Anaheim Ducks.
The Ducks are one of 3 teams with all new branding for the 24-25 season. Coming off their 30th anniversary in which the team celebrated its past, the Ducks are now ready to turn the page and start moving their brand forward. The old Duckfoot is out as the primary logo, but a redrawn version becomes their new secondary mark. Orange, black, and gold remain as the team colors, while the new logo is a throwback remix, perhaps taking inspiration from the reverse retro jersey program. What we get is a modernized take on the classic Duck mask that ushered in the franchise back in 1993. Along with the new logo come new uniforms. Building off the wildly popular third jersey first worn in 2015, the Ducks have gone all in on orange. It's not just the color of the team's new home jersey, but their pants, gloves, and helmets as well. Even the white road jersey has an extra touch of orange along the shoulders. But there is one quirk of their secondary color when it comes to the sweaters. Though the crest is finished with a shiny Vegas gold, the striping is more of a flat tan. It does make me wonder whether this was a conscious choice by the Ducks or a technical limitation of Fanatics.
Boston Bruins.
Boston is another team coming off a big anniversary season, but the Bruins centennial is not quite over yet. Over the summer, they announced their 100 Days of Hockey initiative, which began with the 2024 Fan Fest Tour in August and will conclude with the Boston Bruins Centennial Game on December 1st. This game against the Montreal Canadiens will mark the 100th anniversary of the Bruins' first ever NHL game when they faced the Montreal Maroons in 1924. The Bees announced a special commemorative jersey will be worn for that game. The design is a tribute to a style Boston wore during the 1970s and 80s, using the modernized throwback crest with their traditional flat yellow instead of the Vegas gold that we saw last year. The Bruins wore those special uniforms for their centennial season, along with a vintage white third jersey, which had brown accents. But that look was always intended for 1 year only. They've now reverted to their previous home and road uniforms, and as for a third jersey, I'm not expecting one for this season.
Buffalo Sabres.
Nothing new on the uniform front in Buffalo, and fans of the black third jersey will be pleased to see it returning, announced for 15 dates this season. Meanwhile, the Sabres join the Devils in starting the regular season early with a couple of games in Czechia as part of the 2024 NHL Global Series. No custom jerseys for that game as usual, just a special patch to mark the event.
Calgary Flames.
Same story in Calgary, right down to the 15-game schedule for their black third jersey. That's right, Blasty is back. He's even being featured within the center red line at the Saddle Dome. But the jerseys will have an unfortunate new adornment. The Flames announced their old helmet sponsor is shifting down to the jersey, not only on the home Reds, but the Blasty third as well. And by the way, the helmet sponsorship is not going away, it's just changing.
Carolina Hurricanes.
No uniform changes for Carolina. They'll continue to wear their black Storm Flag jersey for 25 home games. Their red third jersey will also be back for 15 home dates. And if you're doing the math, that leaves one home game unaccounted for. Fans of the Hartford Whalers throwback jerseys will want to mark their calendars for February 27th, when the Hurricanes host the Buffalo Sabres. The team confirmed the white Whalers jersey will be returning that night. And all of those home games will be played in the newly renamed Lenovo Center, formerly known as PNC Arena. As for their road jerseys, Carolina's white stair-step jersey is returning, as is the use of their red helmets with it. They used those red buckets for all but 2 road trips last season.
Chicago Blackhawks.
Chicago made jersey headlines in August at the height of summer when their Winter Classic design leaked. The Blackhawks will host the St. Louis Blues on New Year's Eve. The annual outdoor game is taking place a day earlier than usual, but the opponents and location are both well acquainted with the event. The Hawks and Blues previously met in the 2017 Winter Classic, and Wrigley Field had the 2009 Winter Classic. Beyond that, the only change to the Hawks' primary uniforms is the addition of a new sponsor on the home Reds. It's a bold move to deface a jersey that consistently tops best of lists, but I guess those gambling dollars were just too big to pass up. Meanwhile, in the AHL, the Rockford Ice Hogs introduced a sharp new third jersey. The black and white theme was borrowed from the Blackhawks' 2019 Winter Classic design, and the R on the chest is adorned with the threads of a screw, inspired by Rockford's nickname as the Screw City, which highlights their manufacturing history.
Colorado Avalanche.
No major changes for the Avalanche this year. Their home and away jerseys return under Fanatics, and their navy blue third is back as well. However, Colorado is adding a new sponsor across their entire uniform lineup.
Columbus Blue Jackets.
Columbus will embark on a difficult season in the wake of the tragic deaths of Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew over the summer. Throughout the preseason, Blue Jackets players wore a special decal on their helmets in memory of the brothers. Beginning with the regular season, players will wear a patch on their jerseys featuring Johnny's number 13. No changes to the team's home and away uniforms, and the Cannon 3rd jersey will also be back. In addition, Columbus will add their first outdoor jersey when they host Detroit in the 2025 NHL Stadium Series on March 1st. We'll go over the event branding a bit later on. Across the state, the Jackets' AHL affiliate, the Cleveland Monsters, announced some jersey changes. The new roundel crest introduced last year will now feature as the crest on their primary uniforms, while the black jersey becomes their new alternate.
Dallas Stars.
Nothing new for Dallas this season. In addition to their standard home and road jerseys, they confirmed the return of their blackout alternate with that neon green for 7 games beginning November 29th. Meanwhile, in early November, the Stars took part in the 2024 NHL Global Series in Finland, where they faced the Florida Panthers for a pair of games. No special jerseys, but they did add a patch to mark the occasion.
Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit is more interesting than usual this year since they've been named to the 2025 NHL Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium. The Red Wings are notorious for their lack of creativity and innovation when it comes to uniform design, and the last time they stepped outside the box was their previous Stadium Series appearance in 2016. So maybe we'll see something fun from them once again. However, I would like to mention their cross-state AHL affiliate, the Grand Rapids Griffins, who revealed new home and away jerseys in September. The crest isn't changing, but the striping is, to incorporate new Vegas gold accents. It's a sharp, colorful update.
Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton will keep its classic home and road uniforms, but the navy blue 3rd jersey is reportedly not returning with the switch to Fanatics this season. In addition, the Oilers will now wear a sponsor ad on both of their uniforms. On the home blue jersey, it's the same advertiser as their provincial rival in Calgary, so that's a little funny. The new sponsor for their white road sweater was announced several weeks into the season.
Florida Panthers.
The 2024 Stanley Cup champs are building on what appears to be a new tradition in the NHL with a new center ice design at Amerant Bank Arena. Beneath the Panthers' primary logo is what the team is calling sun rays inspired by the embossed pattern around the Stanley Cup. Last year, the 2023 champion Golden Knights did something similar, with a design meant to imitate the inside of the bowl. I wonder if Cup winners will continue doing this in years to come. Other than that, no branding changes for Florida, but they did wear a Global Series patch on their jerseys in early November when they met the Dallas Stars in Finland.
Los Angeles Kings.
SoCal proved to be a hotbed for hockey rebrands this summer, as the Kings also unveiled a fresh new look, and just like the Ducks, this one takes its cues from the 90s as well. The Gretzky era has been reimagined for the modern day. An updated shape, new typography, and a classic crown all come together to form a familiar but refined mark. The original version of LA's silver crest was revived in 2021 as a 3rd jersey. That design gives way to a new set of uniforms with their own version of throwback elements. And in a trendy touch, the black helmets have a matte finish. Of course, they also have a sponsor decal. The ad on the white helmets is gone for now, but it's probably just a matter of time before a new sponsor signs on. The black jerseys will maintain their sponsor patch, with a new ad arriving on the white sweater for this season. But more interesting than that is what's happening with their minor league affiliates. In the AHL, the Ontario Reign are keeping their jersey and logo designs, but switching to the Kings' new number font. Meanwhile, down in the ECHL, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, that's their real name, introduced a new alternate logo for their warm-up jerseys this season. They call it the Rabbit King, and it's just the right amount of minor league silliness.
Minnesota Wild.
Minnesota will bring back their bright green 3rd jersey, which we already saw being made by Fanatics at the SP factory. I'd gotten a report over the summer that the Wild plan to make this their primary color scheme for 2025, but the team's PR staff shot that one down pretty fast. Along with a 15-game 3rd jersey schedule, the Wild also announced a whiteout night for November 30th, when their road whites will be worn at home. Speaking of white jerseys, their AHL affiliate in Iowa introduced this new alternate jersey, which borrows the crest from a specialty jersey they wore 2 years ago. It's the Minnesota primary logo, redrawn in the shape of Iowa, with the Des Moines skyline replacing the forest.
Montreal Canadiens.
After the Canadiens were spotted wearing 2-layer numbers on their white practice jerseys during training camp without the white gap they normally have, some fans wondered if those would translate onto their game jerseys. With the season now underway, we can confirm that is not the case. Montreal also has another practice jersey detail worth reporting. As you can see here, the white version bears a crest written in French, with the color jerseys in English. Under Fanatics, the Habs will continue to sport the French version of the NHL shield on the collar of their home jerseys, with the English version on their road whites.
Nashville Predators.
Not much to talk about in Nashville, apart from their jersey sponsor, unfortunately. In last season's Jersey Watch, I commented about this sponsor's logo being basically unreadable in that green color. I said I couldn't see it surviving to the end of the season. It did make it that far, but only that far. The new design this season has much more contrast.
New Jersey Devils.
No changes for the Devils this year. Their home and road uniforms are due back alongside the black jersey. The Devils joined the Sabres in opening the regular season early with a pair of games in Prague as part of the 2024 NHL Global Series. But one more note related to the Devils' uniform sponsorships. Since 2021, the team has partnered with Prudential on their Buy Black program, in which the decal on the team's white road helmets was donated to a local black-owned small business. However, that initiative was ended this year and replaced with the new Enrich program. And while it appears to share some similarities with Buy Black, there's no mention of donating the helmet sponsorship space. So the blue Prudential logo is likely to stick around.
New York Islanders.
I reported earlier this summer that the Islanders appear to be dropping the third jersey they've worn for the past 6 seasons. No official word from the team yet, but all signs suggest we have indeed seen the last of it. The Isles will stick to their standard home and away designs this season, and both sets of jerseys and helmets now include sponsor ads. Though that might not be very exciting, the rebrand announced by their AHL affiliate in Bridgeport, Connecticut was. The Bridgeport Islanders, who launched a tepid rebrand 3 years ago, debuted this unique third jersey a year after that, featuring a take on the classic fisherman logo from the ill-fated New York Islanders rebrand of the mid-90s. This year, Bridgeport goes all in on it. The fisherman is now their official primary logo, taking its place on the chest of the team's home and away uniforms. This was a fun choice for a team that seemed to have lost its soul after giving up the Sound Tigers identity. Though that brand is still sorely missed, this is a step in the right direction.
New York Rangers.
No news in the Big Apple. The Rangers will keep their existing lineup of jerseys under Fanatics, including the new alternate that launched last season.
Ottawa Senators.
Not expecting anything new for Ottawa this season. However, back in June at their Spring Members Summit, Senators President Cyril Leader told fans that the team is currently working on a new red third jersey, set to launch a year from now in the fall of 2025. The Sens last wore red for their original reverse retro, and before that wore a red alternate that debuted at the NHL 100 Classic outdoor game, which they hosted. Looking back to this season, however, Ottawa's new center ice design grabbed some attention as they've enlarged their primary logo to fill the entire circle. And on the uniform front, no changes to their home jersey, but the road whites do have a new sponsor patch.
Philadelphia Flyers.
The Flyers went through a complete uniform redesign last summer, so nothing new this year. Under Fanatics, everything should remain the same as last season for Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Same story for their cross-state rivals in Pittsburgh, who are also keeping their existing uniform lineup, including the 90s throwback jersey. And on that subject, their AHL affiliate just announced a new third jersey of their own that's effectively a reversed white version. And it reads Penguins diagonally down the chest because good luck fitting Wilkes-Barre Scranton in that space. In addition, the team has been wearing yellow helmets for every game so far this season, regardless of their jersey color.
San Jose Sharks.
The Sharks are sticking to the same sweater lineup this season, including the black Cali Finn alternate, which was the first Fanatics third jersey to appear on NHL ice this season. Two other noteworthy items. First, there's a new center ice design featuring a cropped version of their primary logo, zooming in on the chomping shark. And second is Joe Thornton's jersey retirement. Number 19 will be raised to the rafters on Saturday, November 23rd. However, there is a bit more news for their local AHL affiliate. As the San Jose Barracudas celebrate 10 years this season, they have some new branding in the mix. Their updated primary logo features the thrashing fish no longer simply holding a hockey stick, but rather biting through it, just like the shark of their parent club. There's also this new 10th anniversary logo, which will be featured on a new black alternate being called the Legacy jersey, which has a new black and teal version of their crest and has been dubbed the Covert Cuda.
Seattle Kraken.
Nothing new to report for Seattle. As the Kraken enter year 4 in the NHL, their uniforms will remain the same. Still no third jersey in the mix yet, but that's not surprising considering the switch over to Fanatics this year. But I do expect the Kraken to make some jersey noise next fall.
St. Louis Blues.
The Blues will apparently be the only NHL team to wear 5 different jerseys this season. St. Louis announced their full jersey schedule, which includes not just their home, road, and alternate designs all returning, but also the red-infused 90s throwback. That will be worn twice on December 15th and April 1st. As for the 5th jersey, we know the Blues will be visiting Wrigley Field to face Chicago in the next NHL Winter Classic on New Year's Eve. No word yet on when that jersey design will be revealed, but it will be worn 2 more times after the outdoor game, once at home on February 8th and once on the road in Washington, February 27th.
Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Lightning will maintain their primary uniforms along with the new black third jersey that launched last winter. By the way, if you want a sneak peek into the reveal of that uniform, I did get exclusive access for a video you can watch right here on this channel. The only jersey news out of Tampa for this year is the addition of sponsors on all 3 uniforms. And while you'll never truly be able to sell me on the idea of placing ads on hockey sweaters, the Lightning rolled out theirs with a new program called Patch with a Purpose, in which the club is tying the jersey ads to a $1 million pledge of support to local nonprofits. So at least some of that sponsorship money is going towards something worthwhile. I still think there needs to be a massive discount for any retail jerseys being sold with a sponsor patch on it, but that's a conversation for another time.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, as soon as I finish a rant about NHL uniform ads, one did come along that made me and many other fans chuckle. For the past 2 years, the dairy farmers of Ontario have paid the Leafs to put the word milk on all of their jerseys. This summer, the team added a new helmet sponsor, which just happens to be a brand of cookie everyone knows for how well it pairs with milk. So that's cute, I guess, but I'm still not sure they belong on NHL uniforms to begin with. All that aside, the Maple Leafs will keep their existing lineup of jerseys, home, away, and the black Bieber third, and of course the new St. Pat's design that rolled out last season. Based on the Leafs' schedule, I suspect we'll see that one back in action on St. Patrick's Day itself when Toronto hosts Calgary.
Utah Hockey Club.
The newest team to join the NHL is the unfortunately named Utah Hockey Club. After things fell apart in Arizona, the Coyotes franchise was declared inactive, and all its hockey assets were transferred to a newly established club in Salt Lake City. That's the story in a nutshell, anyway, and the fact that the Arizona Coyotes still exist is why Utah is considered a new franchise in need of its own branding. Because the timeline was deemed too short to develop a proper brand identity, Utah is going with this generic name for the first year. A permanent brand will be announced before the 2025 season, but it will include the new color palette announced over the summer: black, white, and what they're calling Mountain Blue. Home and away jerseys were officially revealed in September with a generic stair-step crest along with the team's inaugural season logo, which will be worn as a patch on both shoulders. The same logo is also being used on the ice at the Delta Center. However, there was a slight change for the team's inaugural game on October 8th. While the left shoulder had the inaugural season patch, The right shoulder touted the inaugural game. Utah is the first example of the NHL launching a new franchise with temporary branding, making this season's jerseys true collector's items. But by next summer, we should know the proper name, which seems to be trending toward Utah Yeti, from everything I've heard. Whatever the name, the team colors are expected to remain the same moving forward. And depending on how things shake out, I could see the possibility of Utah keeping this black jersey as an alternate beyond this season, especially if their permanent home jersey ends up being that gorgeous mountain blue, which has looked especially good on their practice jerseys. Meantime, the Utah Hockey Club takes over Arizona's AHL affiliation with the Tucson Roadrunners, who have made a couple of minor jersey adjustments this season. The right shoulder now features Utah's inaugural season patch, and the left incorporates the AZ mark designed by Luigi Villaseñor, the fashion designer who served as a creative consultant to the Coyotes. The Roadrunners, by the way, are still owned by former Coyotes owner Alex Morello.
Vancouver Canucks.
The Canucks are among the teams experimenting with unique center ice designs this year. Note the enlarged orca within the circle. In addition, Vancouver now has advertisers across its entire jersey lineup, with the addition of a sponsor on their road whites. No changes to their home uniform, and the black skate third has returned for its third season.
Vegas Golden Knights.
No changes in Vegas. The Golden Knights will continue wearing that metallic gold under Fanatics, and the Grays are back in third jersey rotation. But we should park a little time for their ECHL affiliate, the league's newest expansion team along the shores of Lake Tahoe, known as the Tahoe Night Monsters. They revealed their branding a year ago, but this is their inaugural season.
Washington Capitals.
Last year, I expressed a hope to see the Screaming Eagle reverse retro return to Washington, and this year it came true. On Alex Ovechkin's birthday, the Capitals surprised their captain with that very jersey, which the team will wear as an alternate 6 times throughout their 50th season. The design was based on the club's 90s rebrand, which was the first Cap sweater a longtime captain ever wore. As part of that anniversary celebration, the Caps' unchanging home and road sweaters will include a 50th patch on the chest this season. And because of the existing home jersey ad and a new sponsor on the road jersey, things will get a bit cluttered for Ovi and his alternate captains. Elsewhere, Washington's AHL affiliate redesigned their primary jerseys. It's nothing earth-shattering from the defending champion Hershey Bears, but it is a sharp new look.
Winnipeg Jets.
As always, we wrap up in Winnipeg, where the Jets confirm the return of their home and road sweaters along with their Heritage Blue third jersey, which has been scheduled for 12 home games this season. Meanwhile, the Jets' AHL affiliate, the Manitoba Moose, are celebrating their 25th anniversary. They're wearing this patch on their jerseys and recently unveiled their anniversary uniform in aviator blue with the throwback logo. That will be worn for a handful of games throughout the season. And that covers all 32 NHL teams and many of their affiliates. Now all that's left are the league events.
NHL Global Series.
The 2024 NHL Global Series was the first major event on the league calendar as the Sabres and Devils met in Prague for 2 games several days before the official start of the season. But the event branding looked rather familiar. The logo format has not changed since the series debuted in 2017. Only the colors vary from year to year, with a nod toward the flag of each host country. By the way, there was an interesting uniform quirk for these initial games. Typically, teams taking part bring both their home and road uniforms and wear the appropriate colors based on which club is designated the home team. However, New Jersey wore red for both games with Buffalo in white. I'm not sure the reason for that, but thought it was worth pointing out. The other 2 Global Series games took place in early November between the Florida Panthers and Dallas Stars in Finland, but each team used their designated home and away uniforms for both matchups.
NHL Winter Classic.
Next up on the NHL calendar will be the Winter Classic, which for the first time does not include a year in its official title and logo. The event is taking place on New Year's Eve, which means it's still in 2024, and the 2024 Winter Classic already happened in Seattle. Regardless, the league's marquee outdoor game is set for a rematch between the Blackhawks and Blues at Wrigley Field, where the Hawks previously hosted the Red Wings in 2009. So far, we've gotten a sneak peek at only the Blackhawks jersey through a leak, but no word yet on what the Blues plan to wear.
Four Nations Face-Off.
In February, the NHL will pause for 2 weeks for the Four Nations Face-Off. This replaces the annual All-Star Weekend, and we'll see NHL players from 4 countries go head-to-head in a mini-tournament meant to set the stage for the NHL's return to the Winter Olympics in 2026. Fanatics is designing the jerseys for this event and offered a sneak peek in October. As predicted in my last Jersey Watch video, it appears we will get just one jersey for each team, in the same set of colors as last year's All-Star Game. Navy blue for Team USA, red for Canada, yellow for Sweden, and white for Finland.
NHL Stadium Series.
And the final event of the NHL regular season is the 2025 Stadium Series at Ohio Stadium, where the Blue Jackets play host to the Detroit Red Wings on March 1st. The event logo was revealed in September and contains a few Easter eggs. The overall shape is a horseshoe, like the unique bowl at Ohio Stadium, with that curve at the bottom mimicking the stripe over the top of Ohio State's football helmets. The word "the" is highlighted above the Stadium Series type as a reference to the school's official name, The Ohio State University. And the script that spells out series lines up with this classic Ohio script. Overall, a great design, and definitely among the better ones in Stadium Series history. And with that, I think we've covered everything for the 24-25 NHL season. We're not getting the number of new jerseys we normally see in a new season, but there were a couple of rebrands and the debut of a new franchise. And now that Fanatics is off and running, I'm sure next year will be even more interesting. If you want more detail on some of the new stuff we are getting this year and more videos to watch, I recommend to look back at my channel, which had a very busy summer. For now, that's all I've got. Drop a like before you go if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe to the Aesthetics channel if you haven't yet. Thank you as always for watching, and see you next time.